Hey guys, yeah, I'm someone here today, and this video is going to be quite personal to me, and this is going to basically be my story and why I play Pokemon still, and the whole reason that I started this channel in the first place. At the time I posted this, this has been a still very small channel. I'm still sitting at around 25, 26, 27 subscribers, somewhere in there. And hopefully by about a year down the road from now, this video will have been seen by a very large population because this is going to be a really personal video to me. And the idea came from Tamashi Hiroka. Now, if you haven't seen her video on how Pokemon changed her life, you should definitely go see it, whether either before or after you watch this one. I really could care less. I just think that it's important to see for those who not just to say that Pokemon's been a good game, because it is, and it always will be. Now the thing is, with this video, what I'm doing here is I'm basically going through everything. I'm going through why I play Pokemon, why I still play it, why I started this channel to show that I play it. I'll go through that entire story. So let's start with the basic stuff. Now, for those who haven't kept tabs for a very long time, or those who don't know me on a personal level, as I express it all the time, back in 2007, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. It's a form of autism on the spectrum that they don't even recognize as a disorder anymore. They refer to it now as ASD, or autism spectrum disorder. Um, but basically, it makes you very quirky and unsocial. You can ask anyone. The first time they talk to me, I'm very silent. I don't pay attention to nobody. Even in social situations where I have to present something in front of a class, I never show my face that much. I'm usually paying off attention somewhere into space, or I'm not, or I have my back turned to the audience because I'm just simply not a very social person. Which is why sometimes when I'm doing this while I'm filming YouTube, when I have the face camera on me, or I'm not even looking at the camera, such I am right now. It's just my disorder kicking in gear, and that's why I know it's probably not the most professional thing to do in the world, but it's exactly what's going on. So with that, let's go into something I share in common with the creator of Pokemon, Satoshi Tajiri. He also had an autism disorder, and if it wasn't for him playing to his strengths, we wouldn't even have Pokemon in the first place. So, um, you can kind of tell where this video is going already, is that it's going to be something to show that my channel was designed not to just show my love for gaming and why I play games still. It's more to inspire other people with autism to stand up and be like, I don't have to be afraid of who I am. I lived that life for so long, and it just was, I guess you could say, really bad torture to me. I regret living that life all the time, where I was very antisocial. I used to just hide around in my room all the time. I didn't have many friends. I still don't have that many friends. I do have some, but not as many as most of the kids in my school do, and are that are very popular and stuff. And I'm not mad about that at all. As my parents have always told me, they'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. And that just basically means that you'd rather have 4 good friends than 100 bad ones. And I agree with that. And ironically enough, I do have 4 good friends that have stood by me through everything. Of course, they're the ones that have been seen on the channel more frequently. One of which has not yet to be featured in a video, but I'll talk more on that later. But anyway, growing up, I first started playing Pokemon, and I basically had a big following around me back then. I became known in my classroom for being one of the best in the class. Of course, I never battled anyone, but it was just because I was able to play the game and get it so well. I was hooked to it immediately at first. It was kind of coincidence, I guess, that I bought my first Pokemon game. The whole story was my mom at the time was Jehovah's Witness, and she was very, very strict Jehovah's Witness. And she was one of those people that back early in the late 90s that was very suspicious of Pokemon and his moral values. And she didn't fight me when I asked one day. We went to Target. I think I had an orthodontist appointment that morning, and I asked her, I was like, "What about that game there? What is that?" And she goes, "Oh, that's a Pokemon game." I was like, "Well, can I have it?" And she was like, "Sure, you sure that's what you want though?" And I was just like, "Sure, let's go for it." So at this moment, I already had my Game Boy Advance SP, which I still own today. The very same console I played my very first Pokemon game on is on my shelf somewhere, and I don't want to see it go away yet. I mean, that's one of the systems I really just want to keep for as long as I possibly can. And it's been a very great system to me. It's got a lot of faults right now, and I really want to get it sent back to Nintendo to get it fixed. But I want to make sure that whatever happens, I want it sent back to me the very same system because I don't want to say goodbye to that system ever. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I got the game and I took it home. I was clueless how to play it at first, and I was constantly just running around and stuff. In fact, if you remember back in the older Pokemon games, it would fuzz your screen a little bit every few steps you took when your Pokemon was poisoned. I thought my Game Boy was broken. It was hysterical. Um, and it was just an amazing game to play. When I was younger, it still is now. I still have yet to beat my very first Pokemon game. It's sad, I know, but my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Leaf Green. For those who are wondering, and I played that all the time when I was younger. I still play it sometimes today when I get really bored. I've done videos on it actually. It was a very old Throwback Thursday game video I did, and I played Leaf Green in it. So it's been pretty fun. Playing Pokemon my entire life. Of course, I played those. I got Sapphire as my first grade graduation gift from my mom. I remember getting in the van, my mom's old van, and I was going home, and she goes, "Oh, there's a surprise for you when we get home." I was like, "Cool, what is it?" And I get home, and she hands me this box. It's a blue box, and I was like, "What is this?" She goes, "Read the cover," and it said Pokemon Sapphire edition or version, and I was just like, "Awesome, another Pokemon game to play." So I went and played that, and I played it all the time. And for my birthday, I got Ruby and Emerald. As it was like it wasn't like a combo, but it was just both games they bought me, and I basically had the trio. And sadly for me, I lost all. I lost two of the three. No, I lost all three on a trip to Washington D.C. somehow. It could have been stolen. You never know, because I did leave my games just lying around most of the time. So we got back down here, and I bought Emerald again. I bought Ruby used from GameStop. Um, I still have yet to get Sapphire again, and I really just can't wait to get that again. But that was a great game. Those were great games to play, and I will still hold myself up and say Emerald was the best Pokemon game of all time, just because it holds a special place in my heart to me. It was one of the very first Pokemon games I beat completely. I beat the Elite Four and the Champion and all that good stuff. It was one of the first Pokemon games I truly defeated. The next game up was Diamond. I got Pokemon Diamonds, and as a Christmas gift, same day I got my DS Lite, I got a Pokemon Diamond copy. I remember specifically, I got a game that night before them on Christmas Eve, and I was like, "What's a Nintendo DS? I've never heard of this thing." And Mom goes, "Well, you'll find out tomorrow." And I was just like, "Well, I didn't really care for it too much." The next day, I wake up as a Nintendo DS Lite. I've gone through two of them. It was my first one, and I opened it up, and I was just like, "Well, I've only got one game to play for." She goes, "Oh, open up that other box." I went and opened it up as Pokemon Diamond. I was like, "Sweet." So I put that other game I got in the night before down, and I played it very rarely over the time because I played Pokemon Diamond nonstop. Of course, I started battling other people then. That was my first taste of battling people other than the NPCs in the game. I battled my cousin Ravage Legend. I battled friends at school. It was just a very fun time to be me, I guess. That was fun. Now, after Pokemon Diamond came out, I started to get to that whole social anxiety thing where I still have now. As people started to shy away from Pokemon around me specifically once I got to fifth grade, middle school area. Fifth grade, I was kind of the last year I truly had friends that played it with me. That I had like multiple friends at least that played it with me. I don't have many now that play it. To be honest with you guys. Fifth grade, I went to my first Pokemon tournament directly in the last day of school. I left school, spent the night in Gwinnett County, Georgia, and went the next day and played the tournament there at the Gwinnett Conference. I think it was either Conference Center or just the Gwinnett Center. But of course, I got my butt handed to me in the first round. Of course, at the time, I never knew how to play competitive. I just knew how to build teams and play, just normal gameplay. Now, of course, what I'm doing right now, actually, while I'm filming this, is doing a breeding run. I'm trying to breed an Adamant Shiny Charmander. But anyway, back to the main story of this video. So that's one thing that I really enjoy. And of course, I got Platinum. I beat that one. That was actually my first tournament game was Platinum version. I think it was Platinum. It may have been Diamond. And then, of course, Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out the next year. I played Heart Gold. And, of course, that could have been my first tournament game. It may have been. I think it was Heart Gold, actually. That was my first tournament game. And, of course, at that time period, no one else played it with me. I didn't have anyone to play it with. That was fifth grade year for me. I had very little friends that I could talk to play about it, because all the other kids were just like, Pokemon sucks, Pokemon this, Pokemon that. I'm just like, I'm not the only person that plays it still. And I played it, I beat it, went to my first tournament, got my butt handed to me, as I already said. And that's where things basically went downhill with me and Pokemon. Not as like a fan relationship, 'cause I still played it, but my whole social life just hit me like a boulder. Because I went to a new school, I started middle school, and no one played it. It was I was all by myself, and I basically took Pokemon as that time period was kind of that badge of dishonor feeling where you're too afraid to admit you play something or you do something. That's basically what Pokemon turned into me for a while, and I still love the game to heart, but I just kept it secret. I never really told anyone. And finally, he's still one of my best friends. Sorry, my dad needed me for a moment. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It was basically just me keeping playing Pokemon in secret for a little while. Finally, I had the guts. One of my best friends, he asked me what game I was looking forward to the most coming out this year, and I was like, you wouldn't want to know, and he was like, well, tell me anyway. So I, excuse me, quietly sent under my breath Pokemon, and he was just like, oh, that's cool. It was the first time ever since I had gone into middle school that I didn't feel like Pokemon was a badge of dishonor for me. I felt like, this was a game that I shouldn't be afraid to play. Of course, I never wore another Pokemon shirt again after fifth grade. I didn't start wearing them again until just recently, to be honest. I went all through middle school. Only told certain people that I played Pokemon because everyone else I told everyone else that knew about it, they kind of shunned me for it. I was kind of bullied for it a little bit. He was like, "Oh, he plays Pokemon. He's just a giant nerd," and stuff like that. I was called all sorts of names that I'm not going to repeat because they were quite bad on camera. We were playing Pokemon back in middle school. Middle school was just a hard time for me in general. I was experimenting with relationships, and none of them really went well. I was either cheated on or lied to, basically back in middle school. I'm not gonna point out names because I'm not gonna have them get targeted just because people, we were kids, people make mistakes. But anyway, going past all that stuff because I'm not really wanting to talk about that much anymore because I just don't like being on that topic of middle school. Eighth grade, I started talking about it more. I didn't. I was proud. I was kind of starting to gain being like pride in playing it, which I still have issues with sometimes today. And I lost a lot of friends that year, not to like death or anything, but to just people moving. After that year, of course, I didn't really have that many friends come with me to South Paulding High School. Crap, I shouldn't have said that on camera. Anyway, um, it's been great though. Working with guys that ever since I got into high school that have played the game with me, that have played the game prior to high school, or that are still fans but just don't play it or anything like that. I have a lot of friends like that now these days. That are like that play it, that don't play it anymore, but are still fans of the franchise. I've got tons of friends like that right now. Um, and it's really great having those kinds of guys around because you can talk about it. I mean, like they won't hate you for it, and they might not play it anymore, but they won't like kill you for playing it. I've got a group of friends that plays it, a very small group of friends that play it still, and I've played with them on multiple occasions. My friend Chase, otherwise known as Lord Zolif, I've played with him before. Um, I'll probably have a Smite video with him coming soon. Look forward to that. But I've got my cousin Ravage Legend. I play with him sometimes. I got my siblings, Lean Bomb Gaming, and my younger sister who does not have a channel. My cousin Mr. Apalaka 305. I've got an arsenal of people to play with basically, which is also what led to the Pokemon competitive conference because I like meeting new people. I like to play Pokemon with specifically. So that's always a fun thing to do. Um, and once I got into high school, I still kind of had that shadow of I shouldn't be telling them when I play Pokemon. I'll get made fun of forever. But I started meeting people that played it, that were former fans that still play it today, and I was just like, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna come out of the closet with this one. Like and play and tell everyone that I play Pokemon. What's the worst that could happen? And I did it. I started telling people. People started asking me what kind of games are like, and I said Pokemon, and they were just like, "Oh, that's cool." People really mature after middle school. So the stereotypes you hear that high school's horrible, don't believe it. It's My 3 years of high school so far have been great to me. I've gone through. I've been in one relationship the last 3 years in a row, um, with the same girl. I've never had any issues. Um, I have lots of friends. I've never been bullied. It was basically a flip flop of middle school for me. It was the exact opposite. I have a lot of friends. I played sports for a little while. You'll probably remember I went through my entire doggone story on why I quit football. I'm not gonna go through that again, just for time's sake. It's just a long story. But back to this anyway. 10th grade. Um, I developed G Adamson one. Just as kind of a test experiment because my mom was very like um very aggressive about YouTube. She was just like, if you create YouTube, there's a risk you're going to get bullied. And that's was that Lean Bong Gaming was actually supposed to start his channel before I did. So in secret, I created Jamson One. I made two or three videos just to see what would happen. And of course, I got no views anyway, so I never really had to deal with bullying. It was nice, I was able to really be able to just express myself. And once I got full on permission to do the channel, I relaunched it. I've basically turned the channel into what it is today. Um, and it's been over a year since I've been doing YouTube since that time period that I did it in a secret. It's been almost a year since I relaunched the channel. And not much has changed. I mean, the logos, the way I do videos has changed, but the overall subscriber count, my personality, who I am has not changed a bit from where it was, and that's one thing I enjoy. Now, here's the true story on why I started doing YouTube. But before that, I'll go to present day. Today, I've got lots of friends that play, and I know people all over the place that play Pokemon, and I don't feel like it's a badge of dishonor anymore. I'm able to walk around and proudly say I play Pokemon no matter what. While, I mean, I still have the social anxiety when I'm not at school. And I go around in public, I'm too afraid to wear my Pokemon shirts or carry one of my Pikachu plushies around because I have tons of them. Um, Sometimes I'm even afraid to have my DS out in public because I play Pokemon. That's like the only thing I ever play on my DS is Pokemon. Um, so I'm kind of like very just like, should I be doing this in public? Am I gonna get killed for it or whatever? Of course, I'm dramatizing there, but the worst anything's ever done to me with that is I've gotten dirty looks when buying Pikachu plushes at Toys R Us, as did I did yesterday. I was getting in line, and this group of guys, maybe this group of people, there was a couple girls and a guy, an 18 or 19, gave me this like really weird look, and I got in line behind them. They just walked off, and I was just like, man, what's up with them? But anyway, I proceeded to buy the two plushes that I bought. I got my freebies for Pokemon Day. I went to GameStop, got Pokemon Red on my DS, the Virtual Console version. Got a little code. I got all sorts of good stuff yesterday, and I was proud to wear my Pokemon stuff. I had my socks, I had my shirt. I was gonna wear my toboggan, but it wasn't very cold outside, so I just left that at home. Um, Yesterday was a great day. Of course, last night was very rough for me after I shut off the computer. Like like I told everybody goodnight. I was just reflecting on my childhood, and I'm one of those guys that's very clingy, I guess you could say, to their values. And I just was just like I remembered those time periods when I was younger. I was just like, I wish I could be 16, I could drive. And now that I am 16, I kind of wish I had stayed 8 because when I was younger, all I really could do is just sit around and play Pokemon. I have a loving family that has supported me through everything. They're part of that group of people that I'm not afraid to tell them I play Pokemon, and in fact, they'll tell you the same thing that I download on them. That's our term for when I get carried away and just talk about it nonstop. And they don't ever push back on me or nothing for it. They don't ever say, "Wow, you play Pokemon. You're too old for it," or "You shouldn't be playing it anymore. You're 16. You need to be focusing on your car," or stuff like that. And that's what I love about my family. They treat me with the most respect and they support me through everything. When I played football, I was a bench warmer basically. I never got the chance to shine. But you know what? My parents still came to the games, even though they knew just as much as I did that I wasn't going to get to touch that field. I was never trusted enough to touch that field. Um, anyway, I'm starting to rant, but that's what I love about my family. Everyone in my family supports me for who I am. And of course, there are a couple family members that were kind of aggressive towards me after I quit football. But and they said I made a bad decision, that I ruined my life quitting ball. But that kind of sucked. But I found my second home in Pokemon because I can go through and play that all day and not feel a bit of shame. I can play Pokemon and feel like that I fit in somewhere. And when I was younger, fitting in was a term that just made me want to go hide in a corner and cry because I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere when I was younger. I was just one of those kids where I was just like, I can't fit anywhere. And now I'm just like, sure, I probably won't be able to fit in many crowds, but I can forge my own way. I can forge my own path, and I've done a good job of doing that so far. But anyway, now let's move on to the story of YouTube. As I was saying, I did start the channel in secret. It's been a year since I started it. But the whole purpose of the channel, not only just to show my love for gaming and what I love the most about it, I want to be an inspiration for other people. I wanted to build this channel as a thing to support people with my disorder or other people on the autism spectrum, whether it be fully blown autism or something as minor as my disorder, which is barely noticeable at times. I wanted to show the world that autistic people aren't just creatures; they're people just like the rest of us, and we all have um, our own little quirks that make us who we are. And as I said in Twitter earlier, Pokemon's been a source of many things, of traits that I've learned and I've used. I put problem solving, learning to think before I do something. I was very bad about that when I was little. I just say something and not even think about what it meant. Um, in fact, I used to swear like a sailor when I was younger. I was fussed at a lot for it, but I did it. I mean, I just didn't think before I acted. And now I do it all the time. And I'm about to do something just like, should I do this? Should I not do it? Or something like that. Because Pokemon's done that for me. Because I'll be sitting there in a battle. I'm just like, should I do this first or should I do this now? Or, something like that. And playing to my strengths. That's something that is still a struggle for me today because, as I said, I have strengths. I have a really good memory for the most part. I'm kind of athletic in a way. I still have a lot to work on in terms of athletic skill. Of course, ever since I quit ball, I have no endurance. Um, but I mean, I've got all sorts of traits that make me athletic. I mean, I can talk all day on camera. That's another thing. My love for video games. I can play games and learn them easy. For example, Smite. Now, Smite I never heard of. I was just like, what the heck is this? And that's kind of sad because their headquarters is literally about an hour away from here, from where I live. And it's just like, what the heck? I never played this before. I played it, and I was hooked. My friend Zolaf, as I've mentioned already, he he taught me how to play. He's still teaching me every now and again. But he's been playing this game for 5 years, and I'm just like, this game is actually kind of bad. It's kind of good. So I play it every now and again. I haven't played it in the last couple of days. I didn't get to play it yesterday because I was out doing all the Pokemon stuff. And today, I haven't even. I don't even know if he's awake. He's been sick, but yeah. I mean, it's not that bad of a game at all. I enjoy playing it. So yeah. So I would like to see this video get out. And this is the one time I will beg for people to retweet or share this video because I want people to see my story, what makes Pokemon so special to me, and I want people to be inspired. I want autistic people to be like, hey, I don't have to hide in the shadows. I want to be able to walk free. I want to be able to be proud of who I am. Because that's something I didn't do when I was little. I was ashamed of being autistic. I was just like, man, I'm autistic. I'm just a creature to these guys. But in reality, I'm just a person. I have my quirks. Everyone has a quirk. Um, everyone has their own problem, whether it be physical, like a bone like not being developed right, or mental. In my case, learning disabilities, depression, stuff of that nature, or social, where you just like can't like you stutter every 5 seconds or something like that. Everyone's got their own quirks. It's up to us to really be able to fight back against it and try to live with it instead of being ashamed of it. So that's basically the whole message of this video, and I apologize for making this 15, like almost 25 minutes long. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more. I'll have more gameplay coming soon, and please share this video a lot. I want every autistic kid on the world as to see this and think I shouldn't hide anymore, and I want them to be proud of who they are, and I'll work on that myself. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.